Base Macan.
Yep.
But well-equipped base Macan.
Well-equipped.
Air-conditioned seats in South Florida. Very nice.
Oh, yeah, these things. Oh, I need these. I wish there was a retrofit for air-conditioned seats. That'd be the best.
Yeah. So let's talk about the basics, right? What are we looking at on the stat numbers? Because for the people that don't want to go look on the internet and read, like let's
for the video version,
let's give them the cliff notes.
So it's a 2019 Macan. It's got a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4, 248 horsepower, and 273 foot-pounds of torque. And then its color on the exterior, as you'll see when you do the walk around, is sapphire blue metallic,
which is very nice.
Oh, it's a beautiful color.
I like this color a lot, and only a $700 extra option, so not getting killed on having an upgraded color.
Yeah.
And it actually like really sets off the body lines on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it does.
Got a huge like pano like roof. If I can figure out how to work it.
That's probably, there you go. Look too. There it is.
Look at that. I'm not just all old cars. Look at that, man.
Nice.
I like that.
That's going way.
Whoa.
That's cool.
That's super nice.
Yeah. And it's tinted. And it's got the 21-inch 911 turbo design wheels on it. That's one of the higher end options.
So you can get this entire package with that horsepower number, all in at $65,000.
Yep.
At Porsche of Tampa.
Correct. At Reeves, yeah.
So this car's for sale right now. You know, it's got the PDK in it. Like, what's there not to like, really? You know, you need to do
feels good. It
the
feels
city work. You know,
yeah.
like, hey, this is great for the everyday commute. It's great for traffic. Then you have your 911, like we've talked about on the podcast. It's in the garage for playtime. So buy your 911 from Porsche of Tampa as well.
So
do a package deal, right? Like go in, get the 911, and then buy this too. So you can drive this to work, and then like you could save the mileage on your 911 or your GT2 RS or whatever you end up buying there. But like this definitely gets the daily work done because the steering wheel is still super Porsche. Obviously, it feels outstanding.
Yep.
Again, all of these have, you know, the generation off of the 918 wheel, you know, style. So that's great. You know, obviously has the PDK. It's super quiet in the cabin.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, do you get some remnants of Cayman? Like a little bit sidewise?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's intimate in here, but you know, I kind of like that. You know, it doesn't. It's in. I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't know already. It's a sporty SUV, and Porsche is advertising this as a sporty SUV, and it is that. Like, I definitely feel
the suspension feels that way.
Yeah, and not in a bad way. And these seats are super comfortable. Like, you could definitely like long-term road trip this thing. You know, long-term daily drive this like without any issues. And it looks the part. It sounds the part. And I mean, that's a super awesome price. I mean,
it is.
I mean, you put that in a certain price category of stuff that's out there on the market, like that's actually, you know, I don't know if I'm sounding pretentious, but I think that you're getting a lot of bang for the buck at that price level.
No, most absolutely are.
And there's staying power, right? Like if you buy that, you have staying power in the sense of, as opposed to if you cross shopped any other SUV, this car is going to be worth more longer.
A lot longer, I would guess.
Not to imagine it's just more fun.
I mean, it just feels, even passenger seat right now, I can tell you that from Mike's driver's seat, it's probably nice. It's more sports car than a lot of, probably most SUVs would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that statement. I think, you know, the amenities in here are super nice. And the crazy thing about this is the base model,
exactly.
But it's well equipped. Like, so that means you could even probably, if you didn't want all of the niceties, you could still spec it and probably get in for less than that dollar amount.
Yeah. If you took away all the high-end options, so if you took away the premium package plus, which is the Bose surround sound, auto-dimming mirrors, the Porsche entry and drive, the LED headlights, seated ventilation, the panoramic sunroof is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to opt
for that. Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't option this any less than the way this is equipped, because if you're going to live in this as daily duty, especially with the family, like, this is really, really nice.
Which includes the Apple CarPlay and the heated seats. So, I mean, that whole option package is $6,500.
it's super nice in here. And again, we want to thank Porsche of Tampa for supplying this car for us to review today. We love those guys. They're super courteous, and if you're ever going to buy a Porsche, those are the guys you want to buy it from, because they're going to take care of you guys. I mean, they're just the best. They're so like
they're willing to take care of you.
Yeah, they're so informative. They go the extra mile. They're always there for you anytime you need something. You know, they don't put you on hold. They don't like make you wait for stuff.
If they can get it, you'll get it.
Yeah, and trust me, like anything they can do for you, they're going to do it. Like if you request it and they will do everything within their power to make it happen. And I think that says a lot about dealerships nowadays. That kind of customer service like doesn't really exist anymore. And I know people are probably on the other end of saying this, and they're like, oh, well, that's Porsche, they should be. Well, that's not necessarily true, because if you don't know, like all of these dealerships are individually owned. So Porsche doesn't own them. So some of the dealerships they're very rude. Like if you're not a customer buying, like, but that they treat everybody equally. You know, they make sure that everybody gets the attention that you need, even if you're just a window shopper. Like,
because you'll be back.
Because you could be a potential client someday, right? Like, but that's how everybody should be treated, and that I'm giving them kudos because it's a dying art.
It is.
So
it is being nice to people.
Exactly. Let's talk about some of the like stuff on our sheet. What do we have going on?
So, what do you driving feel so far now you've had a few miles under your belt?
I feel like the car feels outstanding for a small SUV, and what I mean by that is it's very compliant. I feel super safe in it. It does everything it's supposed to do. It's not slow by any means, even if it's the base engine, and that number doesn't sound wowing to you, like, oh, 250 horsepower out of an SUV, but honestly, it makes the proper power and the proper torque. I mean, 273 foot-pounds of torque, it's plenty for city driving. I mean, this isn't, let's call it what it is, this isn't a track car. That's not what this is made to do. This is made to do the things that people don't talk about that aren't sexy, right? Like,
yeah, the utility part.
Oh, hey, I gotta run to Home Depot. Oh, hey, we're going to dinner tonight. Like, that's just not basically life, what this is made for. And I think it does an outstanding job at that. Like,
if you need more out of it, like we always say with these turbo motors, there's a tune for it, I'm sure.
Of course. But I don't even think you need to tune this car. Like, I think this car is like, and I'm not saying this just because we're fanboying over Porsche or we're trying to pump up something the dealership gave us, but I really believe, like, if, you know, you have a family, or even if you don't have a family and you just don't want the damage your car on the bad roads, your 911 or your baby, even if you have an old one or a new one or whatever, your sports car, let's be honest, like, the road conditions where we live out aren't necessarily the best in the business. So, you know, this is perfect for that urban driving. This is perfect for that beat up road. This is perfect for that city driving where you go somewhere and you park and you're not worried about it. You know, you're not worried about people gawking. Like, this is very, like, undercover in the sense of, granted, this blue color is like very poppy, which I like. I don't care. Like, I would rock it. But I think it's one of those things where this is very, you know, cloak and dagger. If you wanted to be, you could be super stealth. You could buy a black one or a silver one, and like, you would just disappear essentially under the radar.
That's true.
So transmission, obviously we said it's PDK, so that's, you speaks for itself, right? It's
sporty sounds.
I'll tell you what, for what it is, I mean, this big, you know, it's not super heavy, but, and I think you and I talked about this, you know, this is the 911 wheelbase of it, so it feels nimble. You know, the steering feels tight, like, so this is probably just the best nimble SUV on the market, right? So, yeah, sounds good. When even the 250 horsepower, just when it hits that high shift, it sounds really good. So I say the feel's there. I mean, it's very Porsche, guys. Like, so I think if you're out there and you're on the fence and you don't know what kind of an SUV you need, or if you should buy an SUV, because people talk bad about SUVs a lot, including us, we have on the podcast, but we also have given credit to say, if you gotta have one, let's say you have a 2-car garage, right? And you have a family, and there's 2 adults and 2 children that live in that household,
Or a dog.
or whatever, or 1 child, whatever, you pick your poison, or just 2 adults, whatever.
Yep.
And you need one car that you kind of go out to dinner in, and you go do that, and then you need your one fun car. I think this should be your other complement to a 911.
I think it's exactly how
Or a Cayman or a Boxster.
Yep.
This is that perfect car. Exterior looks, we love the way it looks outside.
Like the wheels.
Yeah, we like the color a lot. I would option, maybe something to complement this color. Maybe, if I couldn't get this color, I would get something still kind of bright. Like maybe even the Mexico blue, whatever. Like I would, because I'm just a color kind of person. Like I like color. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that want to fly under the radar. They want to have the car it's, nobody knows that you have, and you just disappear, and that's fine. This does that as well. But I think you could get this car in a color where you're not like, well, look at me type of color. Like this isn't a look at me color.
I still with it being blue, it's just a pretty blue. That's it.
Yeah, and this color is not a look at me color.
No.
Like I think it's not in a bad way, but it shows very well.
Mike even wore his matching shirt today for it.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even realize it. But so the exhaust sounds, it sounds really good.
That sounds sporty. I give it that. Yeah, there we go. Everything's on. Let's do this. So far, is the steering super light.
Yeah.
Like I think it could be a little more weighted.
I think that goes back to the stuff we talked about with the cars, though, because this is an SUV, so they're thinking about their demographic of people that are buying it. Like if it had heavy steering,
But doesn't need to be like heavy. It just needs to be like it'd be a little heavier.
I think most people, unfortunately, don't take this the wrong way out there, guys, that they've never driven sports cars, the ones that are buying this. So if they feel like something's super heavy, they're going to think something's wrong with the car.
Well, I guess that may be true, though. Like, I guess, yeah, with more of the...
Because they don't understand feel. Like, so that's why it's like there's so much strength in the power assist. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like, they're shopping this to a demographic of people. I mean, let's get honest, like families and women are probably the target for this car.
It is perfect steering then if you like that.
And I'm not saying that as a negative, but I'm just saying I mean, any type of strategy when you sell anything, you're always shooting for a demographic, and I'm sure the demographic for this market is that.
But as far as like visibility and riding up, I mean, it's really good. It's
absolutely.
very open.
Like I said earlier, I think when I was driving it, I think that it's super compliant. I mean, at the end of the day, this car is made to do, I think, light off-road duty and a lot of urban driving.
It is. It's good. It's definitely good for that. It feels really good. It does feel sporty, like I would imagine it would, being the TDA that it should have.
Yeah, I would. I mean, let's talk about price. Do we think the price is right?
Yeah, I actually was surprised that for a brand new car that it was only $65.
Yeah, I think you're getting a lot of car for the money with that price point, to be completely honest with you. And I'm not just saying that to say that. I really believe, I mean, I think average car price, I mean, like, lower tier vehicle is $30,000 is entry point. So you think about, you're getting a higher end brand, and you're getting all of this at that price point is kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and like we said, you can option it different. You can option it out differently, but I don't think I would.
Mm-hmm.
I do like these quarter windows, like you pointed out before. That just helps with the visibility so much more.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really going to do a whole lot for you, but it actually opens up the cabin some, like a hair. Making a left in this light. So what do we think? Do we think this thing's the business?
Definitely has the business like DNA.
Yeah. I think it is. I mean, obviously it's not motorsport. We're not trying to masquerade this as that, but this isn't also trying to masquerade itself as that either. It's not trying to be something it's not.
And I think that's why it excels at what it is.
Yeah. And let's be honest, this is the best-selling vehicle in the Porsche lineup, I think, right now. Or maybe the Cayenne, but this is a second close if it's not if it's not up there. I know that Chris was saying specifically for our area, this is a #1 seller.
I can see why.
Yeah. I mean, and you and I have driven the Cayenne before, and we spent like 7 days with it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think most people need that kind of space or that size.
No, and I think that, I mean, it's around the same power figures, and even I think it's more, but you still feel weight. I mean, it's a big car, and you feel that it's a big car.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you still have that. You still have space, but it doesn't feel giant.
Yeah, I like the feel that, you know, yeah, you're elevated, but it definitely feels nimble still. So it's one of those things where, again, you know, the demographic of people, if you need this, or even if you don't need this, like if you're a single person and you have the means to have 2 newer Porsches or 1 old Porsche and you needed something newer as a daily driver, for example, like me, like if I have a 1990 964, right? And I need a modern daily driver because I want something under warranty, I want something comfortable, I want something reliable. This is, and I can store things, take friends, go to places. I could go, you know, to the mountains. I could go to the beach. Like this.
This has the roof rails on it too.
Yeah, this can do it all. Like literally, like it can do it all. And then when you need your weekend blast and you need your loudness and you need your roll cage and all that stuff, you get in the other car and you do that. I think it's very unique that Porsche has basically done that. You know, not all brands have picked or developed a vehicle for all scenarios.
No, not at all.
So what's the butt dyno say? Is it fast? No, it's not fast, but it's. I think it's, and I don't want to say this as a negative standpoint. It's adequate.
That's the exact word that I was going to use. Like it's not
right at the light.
It's not underpowered.
I mean, again, I think for a scenario of where this is going to live, it has more than adequate power, even at this trim level. Like there's other trim level. This is the base. Like if you really want to juice it up, you can. You can go all the way up to a GTS and put get one. It's got 450 horsepower and all that,
turbos,
all that stuff. But if this is enough, you don't. I would say this is money well spent because you don't need 450 horsepower SUV.
I would say this is money well practically spent.
Yeah. So interior, let's give it an overall impressions, exterior, interior, overall package for what it's built to do. Let's keep it simple instead of a wide scale, like a 1 to 5. Where do you rate this thing in an overall sense of, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst? Where are you putting this on your 1 to 5 scale?
The whole car rating?
Yeah, interior, exterior. I'm thinking whole thing. We're not going to break down and say, okay, interior is this and exterior is that. Let's just give it a whole package rating. What do you feel about this?
I'd probably give it a 3, good middle of the road.
Yeah, I agree with that.
1 out of 5.
I give it a 3.5, almost a 4.
Yeah.
And I think it just reiterates everything that I was saying about it before. And like, let's just be honest, guys. Like, the cars that are like, to give it a litmus test, what the cars that we're going to probably give 5s to are going to be like, since we're motorsport derivative, like GT2 RSs and GT3 RSs, like those are going to be our 5s, because again, we're reviewing it for what the car was built for, right? Yeah. So this is I would say it's a close 4, to be honest with you. And like, yeah. I would say maybe if in order for this to be a 5, maybe if it was bumped up to an S trim, yeah. like then that would probably be it. But like I said, this actually has adequate power. Yeah. So I mean, if you did an S, I think that probably is the super sweet spot for this car.
Yeah, I think I agree with the S spot.
So if you can afford it, I would bump up to an S. That's what I would say, and then that would probably make this car a 5. So I mean, I guess maybe not 3.5. I would say 4. Maybe I say 4 with this.
Don't want to give all your numbers out.
Well, yeah, I think it's just, you know, being realistic. So I mean, between steering, transmission, suspension, you know, exterior, interior looks, there's plenty of room in the back. There's plenty of like storage for all this family stuff. I mean, it's a versatile vehicle. It really is. It's very, very versatile. We like it. Yeah. All right, guys, we want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing below for multiple reasons. It helps us, but also helps you get notified when a new video comes out. I don't know if you guys knew that. In addition to that, at 1,000, we are going to give something away. And every time we click over 1,000, we're going to give something away. So and all you got to do to win is actually subscribe. So don't be a fool. Go to school and subscribe, right?
Yep, subscribe, guys.
But in the comments below, let us know what you think about the Macan base, the 2019. Is it a car for you? Is it versatile? Are we crazy? We don't know what we're talking about? Tell us what you think. But we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.